Hey folks, welcome back to Street Rust. If you haven't figured it out already, I'm Keith. I am the sole proprietor of this garage, this mess if you will. What are we doing today? We're going to get right on it. I don't even know what part this is. This is going to be like part 10. I got to start doing shorter videos. You'll see one come out before this one. It's going to become, you'll see it. You'll see part 9 before you see this one. But anyway, I lied like a dog in the last one about getting the intake on, getting this started. I got a little ahead of myself mentally, which is what I do sometimes. So tonight we're going to work on the intake. But first, the other lie I told on part 9 was talking about cost. So let's get you guys an update on cost of where we're at. All right, there's our dry erase board. I know you millennials love my dry erase board, but it'll be okay. Let me do my thing, okay? Anyway, the last time we looked at cost, we had some items written up here that we returned. We bought some other items. It was kind of a wash. But since then, we were at $963. I spent $22 on the retainers for the spindle nuts and differential oil. I had a $15 gift card, so it only cost me $22. Radiator. I'll show you the radiator in a minute. Well, let's just talk about the radiator. $153. I bought a 3-core aluminum radiator. Go price an OEM one. You're talking $400 or $500. The only radiator shop, there is not one in Northwest Arkansas. I had to go into Southern Missouri, and they want too much. You know, you got to drive 50 miles there, drop it off, 50 miles back, and do the same thing again to pick it up. Quote was anywhere from $85 to $125. So you had gas and time on that. I just bought the $153 radiator. It'll be here in a week or so. Rear tires, saw those in the last video. Tire tracks here in Springdale. That's total landed cost, tax, balance, everything, $187 for 4 rear tires. The differential seal and some Permatex for the, you know what, the goop, right, for the seal. Some more carb cleaner, 26 bucks. Another 26 bucks, bought some spray paint to do the engine compartment, some satin black. And bought a big bottle of brake fluid. So I'm at $13.77 right now. So, hey, it costs money to do this. I hope you guys are seeing this. The intent of this is not to discredit anyone else who's rebuilding a car in 30 minutes on a video. That's their gig, that's what they do. If they got a big shop, God bless them. If they got a pocket full of money, God bless them. If they worked hard to get where they're at, God bless them. I'm doing the same thing right now. I think I'm starting a little later in life than most people, but I'm abundantly blessed in all aspects of my life, so I got nothing to complain about. This is my solace. This is where I come out and find peace and have fun. So enough rhetoric. So here's what we're going to do. Let me show you the radiator real quick, because I told you I would. Got to live up to what I say. So it wasn't leaking. But I noticed a little slow drip. You can see where it's still a little wet down in there, okay? And then there's some signs up here. Anytime you see this corrosion, there's a sign of linkage. So, you know what? This thing will work for a revival. I'll throw it downstairs in the shop with the one off the Chrysler. What are we doing? You know what? I'm not even gonna say what we're doing in this video. Here's what I'm working on. The goal is to get it completed. Here's the intake. I've got everything on and sealed up. I'm going to go ahead and tape off the carb intake here and the thermostat intake. So I've got a bad habit of dropping things down holes, and I don't want to do that. I'm kind of set up to do my cleaning, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to make you guys sit here and watch me clean. So I'm going to get in here and get all this cleaned up. I'm not going to paint that back blue strip back there necessarily, because it looks like it's got some of the OEM blue. I'll just clean that up. So I'm going to go ahead and clean all this up. I'm going to tap all of these holes and get the intake on. So that's the first goal. These valve covers are not staying there, just keeping the dirt out of everything. We've got the pretty blue ones that we painted sitting right over there. They're going to go back on. What am I missing here? So when I'll bring you back in is after I've got all these holes tapped, everything cleaned up. I'll go ahead and put the gaskets on. The only place we're going to be putting the goop, and let me go ahead and share this with you, because I'm a gooper. I like goop, right? But you don't need too much goop. Okay. Really, the only place, and I got to make sure these are oriented correctly, obviously. I don't even know which end's up. I got to figure all that out, assuming it's like that right there. I don't want to get it dirty. There we go. And so really the only place you're going to goop, I goop around the water jackets. That's it. There's no need to goop around, you know, your intake gasket area there. So I get the water jackets. I think there's 2 front and back. I'll have to double check. I think that's a crossover there in the middle. So we'll goop that up. Of course, I'm just going to use some extra cork seals that I have. I could probably just seal across there, goop it up real good, but that's not the intent. I'll use the gaskets, make sure I hit the 4 corners. And then when we get the intake on, lied to you again. So when I get this all cleaned up, I'm going to go ahead and set the valve lash, and I'll get with you all on that. Sorry, folks. There's just so much going on. It's the holidays. So anyway, we're going to get this cleaned up. I'm going to come back and show you how to set the valve lash. Then we're going to put the intake on. Whoop. Then that's going to allow me, that'll probably wind up this video. We'll see where we're at. Then I can get in here and start cleaning all this up so I can paint this with the correct blue, not Ford tractor paint. And I'm going to get the sides down through here and try to get as much as I can. I'm going to take off the fuel pump, the oil sanding unit. I'll drain the oil, plug up the fuel, all that kind of good stuff, and start really getting this cleaned up and beautified. All right, so when I'm ready, I'll holler. See you in a millisecond.
It's recording.
So hey, update. So guess who's holding the camera? Say hi, Gracie.
Hi, Gracie.
Come out here and ask me, what are you doing? You're down in the truck. So
yeah,
that's the great thing about one of these trucks. You can stand it, even if there was a big block in here, you can stand in here and work. Yeah. So hey, darling, get a shot of this. I got a lot of this cleaned up on both sides. Here, come around the front. Okay, what are you doing with my Super Tech lubricant? Okay, all right, so what I'm doing, I about got this row done. It's just tedious. I'm just running this dye or tap down through here. All of these bottom out, you can see straight through, so that's good. So when I get done cleaning all this up, we'll be back and we will get the valves adjusted. Be back in a few seconds. Are you recording?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Valve lash. You can go look at my 302 video I did for the Galaxy 500. I'm just going to go through a couple here just to show you how it's done. So we want the number 1. First of all, here you go. Ford 302. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Firing order 1, 5, 4, 2, 6, 3, 7, 8. Got it? Okay, not rocket science. All right, so number 1 piston on the compression stroke. What's the compression stroke? Put your finger over the spark plug hole, crank it over. When it starts blowing air out, it's compressing, and put it at top dead center. That means that your number 1 intake and exhaust are totally closed because it's atomizing, compressing the fuel. So you can see this one's not too bad. This thing was clicking really bad back here, and look at that one. Anyway, and I'm doing this with no gloves on intentionally. My hands are going to get really dirty, but look how that one's a little loose. This one's not too bad. Okay, so there's in this is a 71. I've got a 68 manual. Look, there's 20 different ways of doing this. The bottom line is you want to make the adjustments when both the intake and the exhaust valve are closed. Okay, you got that, darling? Intake, and you need to go back and watch some of my videos. I explained all this like a nerd.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so I'm going to go ahead and loosen this one up because I want to show you exactly what's going on. You know what, that one ain't bad. I ain't gonna touch it. Let's do this one. Good night.
There we go. All right, so this one's loose. You hear it slopping around? See it slopping around in there? Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna tighten this down until we get some tension. There's two ways you can do this. Okay, now I've got tension on there, I can't move it, okay? After you do that, and let me back it off just a second. Just a little bit, because I wanna, okay. Now there's a little slop in there. I'm gonna tighten it just so, there we go. I can't turn that with my fingers and there's no slop. After you do that, you give it one complete turn. Well, that ain't gonna work. It didn't like that. What? What's going on here?
I don't know. I can't understand.
Okay. Okay, this is totally loose. Are these the self-locking type? I don't know. Now I'm gonna have to go look. Because if these are the self-locking, like a fulcrum, that's locked. That's still tight. So why, like, okay. See, that one's a little loose. A little bit, not too bad. There's a little bit there. All right, I'm gonna have to go back and re-look this because, so let's go ahead and go to number 5. I don't know if these are, these must be locking, like a fulcrum, locking ones. All right, so to get it on number 5, watch this. Both of those should be closed. I'm gonna go 90 degrees. And you should hear, I can't really do it like this. I should feel compression coming out of here. And there it is, that's what I'm looking for. Both these are totally closed. Those aren't too bad, but once again, you know what? We're gonna roll with it. I'm gonna have to go back and look at this a little more. That's not too bad. I mean, it's tight. Okay, so that's 1.5. Now let's go to 4, which is all the way back here. Another 90-degree turn. A little too far. I'm gonna go back. Now it's good. You'll get off if you don't get it right. See how loose that one is? Look at that. That's where that god-awful noise was coming from back there. All right. You can adjust these while they, I don't think these are really adjustable. There's a little valve lash there. That one's just a little, all right, there we go. We'll see if that helps. So what was that, 5? 1, 5, no, we did 5, that was 4. Now 2, we come back to 2, do another 90-degree turn. And I should hear compression here in number 2. And I didn't. So I'm gonna take it all the way around, make sure I'm right. See these moving here on number 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's moving? Is that compression?
Just, no, it's not question time, darling. It's listen time. Okay.
I don't understand that.
Yep. Okay, now that one's closing. There is my compression. Alright, that's good right there. And I could probably actually touch the top of the piston, and I can. So we're good there. That one's loose, that one's loose. Woo! Oosta. But I don't know. I'm just going to give these a little tweaking here. I don't like this at all. There's still a little lash in there, which there should be a little lash. Look how loose that is, though. Something ain't right there. There we go. See, all right, that's number, what number is
2.
that? 2. I'm gonna go back to 1. See these valves moving up here on number 1. There's my compression. And, yep, okay. See, okay, so that's 1. Okay, 1, and then 90 degrees. This will be number
5.
yeah, number 5. Yep.
Is there air coming out?
Yeah, it's compression, darling. 1, 5.
Compression.
That's just sloppy.
Slow.
I mean, that's just sloppy Joe.
I like sloppy Joe.
You know what? We're gonna stop here. I don't want to snap something off there. Okay?
Okay.
All right, we'll get back to you. All right, so my videographer here just told me this light's too bright.
Yeah.
But you know what? Most people tell me my light's not very bright. Now my gospel light, this is a light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, absolutely. So, where'd you get that ring? You got a boyfriend?
Yeah.
All right. All right.
It's really good.
Let me explain, darling. You just keep up with me here. This is what's going on. Okay, zoom in on this stud. Get in there. Here, let me have it for just a minute. That's okay. That's all right, darling. All right. And you see this stud right here? You see the base of this stud is wider than threads. That indicates that it is a fixed stud. It is not this is not an adjustable lifter. In 1971, some of the earlier models, remember, truck's a 70, this is a 71. We looked at that many videos ago. All right, battery cut out. My videographer had to go to the Tinkle Palace. So, anyway, I don't know where we cut off. I know I talked about this is a fixed stud. It's not adjustable. You don't run it all the way down like the 68 I did, and then give it a full turn. That's not going to work. So 1970 truck, 1971 302. In 1971, some of the earlier models had the adjustable, which carried over from 68, 69, 70, 71. And some of the 71s had the fixed, which is what this is. And that's what I was suspecting. Now, so think about what can cause this. You got a lift, you got a cam lobe, a lifter, a rod, a rocker arm, and you got the top of the valve, which, oh, that's that little metal plate. That's a wear plate. Looky there. I may get some more of those. I did not realize that had that on there. You know what? One's got it and one don't. I'm gonna have to check into that. What the heck is that? Never seen anything like that. All right, so nonetheless, so some of these studs, I'm like, that looks higher than the other one, you know? Then I got out my handy dandy ruler, you know, and I started measuring these, and they're all, I mean, you can't see that. There we go. I mean, they're just spot on. Okay, doesn't matter whether I'm using millimeters or centimeters, whatever, they're spot on. So what could it be? So I got out my handy dandy camera, and that my daughter got me for Christmas. That one's colored, my other one's black and white. So, all right, hang on, darling. So what else could it be? You know, make sure check the rods. I forget what they were, 6.876 or something like that. The rods are good. So, you know, I initially thought the studs were pulling out, but then looking at all these, there's nothing in there that indicates that stud is pulling out. You'd see a little gap, something different in there. So all the studs look to be okay. So here's what I did. Back here where I had a lot of the chatter, this is the number 3. I pulled the lifter right here, and it's a little squeaky. All right, darling, you right here. Take this back over so I can use both hands. There you go. All right. So I pulled the lifter out of the number 3, and then because I tightened it down. Oh, by the way, you torque these down to, what is it, 20? 20 or 25? I got it set. 20. 18 to 20 foot-pounds. So it's not a lot. And you can see where I torqued it down a little tight, started eating into this. You know what I could do? I could just get a die and just thread that down and give me more room, but that doesn't fix the problem. That's not the way to do it. That'll affect your lift and duration. So anyway, shove my camera down there. The cam lobes look good. So I took one that was tight enough. I took this lifter out of number 1 and put it in number 3, put the rocker back on and torqued it down to the 20 foot-pounds, and it was fine. So what does that mean? Well,
I don't know.
I can take, oh, and by the way, look at the bottom of these lifters. Get a zoom in. There's nothing wrong with those. They look pretty dang good, and they're rotating. They got good wear marks. There's a little bit of a wear mark in there where it's rotating. But anyway, I can take this one out of number 3. Ow!
What the heck? What's
Ow!
funny?
It's funny? You find it funny? This one out of number 3 has got a little play in it, okay? And then the one out of number 1 ain't got no play. It's rock, it's solid. Okay, so when I put the number 1 and the number 3, it was good. So I can only presume at this point that we've got an issue with lifters. It could be the, look at them little caps on there. I ain't never seen that in my life, but that's pretty cool. Hope I ain't missing this one over here. I think it's just under the retainer. So I think what that looks like, is we're gonna have to get a set of lifters. So that's the best prognosis that I have right now. Let's look at the cam. All right, I gotta remember where this goes. I've got everything positioned so even a rocket scientist like me can remember where everything goes. All right, why don't you, let's see, darling. This is
that from Lexi?
yeah, that's from Lexi. It's can't get into it. Okay, there we go. All right. Let's just let everybody have a gander. It's still got the protective. You know why it's got this protective thing on here? So you don't get pregnant. Hey, what'd one snowman say to the other snowman?
I don't know.
You smell carrots?
Oh, your dad.
All right. Can you
Dad
see?
jokes.
Okay. There's the lobe to the cam. Here, let me get it over here for you. All right. This is all backwards. All right. There you go.
Oh,
That looks good. Did you get it?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Okay. Now let's look at the cam lobe over here on the driver's side.
Camera?
Cam lobe. Yes,
saying
it's a
that's
camera. So, look, there ain't nothing, that's shadow in there, folks, but there ain't nothing wrong with those cam lobes. So, once again,
Pretty cool.
yeah, it doesn't work up your nose. I already tried up my nose and in my ear. I did. I was laying in bed after it charged the other night, and I stuck it up my nose, and it doesn't work in confined spaces like that.
Can't see any
So
better.
anyway, yeah. So if that doesn't get subscribers, I don't know what will right there. So shoving a borescope up your nose. All right, y'all have done it. Okay, don't lie to me. Next, you're gonna tell me you don't pick your nose. You bunch of liars. Okay.
All right, so hey, this is gonna do it for tonight. I'll get back tomorrow. I'll see if they've got some local. I'll grab some. We'll throw this back together tomorrow night and get the intake on, because I want to get the intake on. Okay, so we will see you guys. A few seconds for you, a millisecond for you, be tomorrow for me. See you tomorrow.
Bye, Gracie.